G'day, hey, hi, and welcome. Okay, let's go have a look at the morning view. That out. There we go. Just waiting for one of my clients. My client has a new car and it's probably really quiet, so I got the door open. Yeah, it's that kind of a morning view. It poured all night last night. I figured out my poor tarragon, there was something else growing in there. So I pulled it out this morning. It was like, ooh, don't want that in there. So I got one piece of tarragon left. It has to survive the winter. That's kind of morning it is. It stopped raining for now, but I'll leave my plants out for today. Bicycle's soaking wet. Brought down some extra tools. And most importantly, it poured last night. Basement's bone dry, so that's a good sign. So far, we'll say digging out that back wall helps with the rain, but we'll see what happens in the spring with the snow. So I think when there's a steady stream for like days, months, like for about 2 months of water just coming down the hill, melting. So okay, so let's get this all set up here. So yeah, so I was kind of happy to see, and I noticed the basement doesn't stink as much now after I got rid of. It was just two pieces of wood basically. Uh, One was just a board that had been probably saturated for years, never getting a chance to dry out. I just sitting on it was sitting right where it was leaking, and that other board, and I got those two things out, and I guess those were the two things holding in most of the mustiness, right? So I got that out. So it's still bad in the basement. You wouldn't want to sleep in the basement, but you could. You just wouldn't enjoy it. You'd be pretty coffee in the morning. But that said, it's I've known that we're not quite 2 months down here. I've been down here, and I still haven't slept down here yet. But it's like yesterday. It's like even today, like because it's a rainy day. Even this thing doesn't. I'm not gone nose blind to it. It's just it seems like things downstairs have finally dried out enough that it's not bad. Like you can smell it a bit. You can smell it a bit, but definitely livable down here. So I've done a lot. So and I'm not done yet. I still got to do Operation Pine Sol up here, and then down the basement. I'm gonna Javix everything, just kill off whatever I can. But I still got to do all the sweeping. It's supposed to rain for like a week, so don't know how much work I'll get in this week, but got a little bit of work today. Won't be a full day, so my income is about to take a major hit. But good news, the lyrics are done for Pinto and Tomahawk, my two, my next two songs coming up. Um, it depends on what time. If I get home at noon, I might start mastering my Crystal Eyes, so I can get that one out to you. If not today, I'll do it tomorrow. And then tomorrow, if it's raining like crazy outside, I'll just do work in the basement. It's that time of year where it's like my clients sort of still need me to do stuff, but it's like they don't have like full days for me, right? So it's like okay, try to keep like everybody tries to keep me going as long as they can, right? And it's like, well, it is what it is. And I'm pretty sure I'll get a call for probably next week or whatever to bring the boat up. Uh, because I don't want to do it in a snowstorm. That's the thing. I really don't want to be driving that highway with a boat in the snowstorm. Like that's not definitely what I don't want to do, right? Which I haven't had to do yet. But I've been caught in the rain every single time I've delivered that boat or picked up that boat. It just seems to the way the cookie crumbles have always been caught in the rain. Um, but I don't want to be caught in a snowstorm. You know, not that I don't know how to drive or anything like that in a snowstorm, but it's just the idea of I know what that highway's like, right? So, a lot of people die on that highway every year, and it's usually of no fault of their own. Most of the time, it's usually black ice or snow squall or something like that, where they just like you get snow squalls that it's complete whiteout. You don't even know where you are on the road. You can't stop because there could be people behind you, including tractor trailers. So it's just like, yeah, I'm just not going to want to do that. I still let Dr. Pepper this morning. So yeah, I'm happy to get the song lyrics done. They're the black metal opera is going to be kind of fun. That one's going to be really fun. The Pinto one, it's going to be, I think, pretty. It's going to be an inspiring song. So I did a sad song, then I'll do an inspiring song, but like, and then I'll do like a dark. Well, like the lyrics are dark, but the messaging is not always dark. It's death metal, right? So, or black metal. So it's dark in a sense, but it's also has a tranquility to it that it's like it's like it is what it is. It's about acceptance of stuff, right? So yeah, so I don't have the music arranged for Tomahawk yet. I have most of Pinto arranged, but now that I got the lyrics, I might have to, like I have the riffs, like the main riffs, and there's a riff I've been hanging on to for over 30 years, and I could never find a song to put it in, and Pinto I think will be that song. There'll be a lot of flashy guitar work in that song, hopefully, and that'll be the debut of my Charvel. I thought about putting the Charvel into the Crystal Eye song, just a little solo bit right at the beginning, but I think I'm just going to leave it so there's no guitar solo at all in that one. The originally there was, but wasn't a major solo. But I thought, well, just complete that song so I can move on to the next one. So now I'm like look, instead of just looking at guitar equipment and stuff all the time, there's a lot of people on YouTube that have like recording channels. Problem is they're all modern digital, and I'm watching how people are doing their like their metal guitars and stuff like that. And it's like the way they record, like it's there's a reason, like they're going for perfection, right? So it's like they play like one note until they get that note sounding the way they want, and then they edit it in. It's like, I don't know if I'd ever want to do that. Like, yes, you'd get a perfect performance. There's no doubt about that. Especially the really genty stuff, right? So because it requires like a lot of articulation, which you can't get if you just try to play it through, because the guitar just rings out too much. So they'll mute like a couple of strings with like a piece of cloth or whatever, and just play and tune to the note that they're playing, tune the actual note that they're playing, not tuned open, so they get perfect intonation, stuff like that, and they get a perfect sound. But when you realize it's kind of like, it's not cheating, but it's just like that's a tedious way to put a song together for sure. But it's like, could you replicate that live? Because live you can't just start a part and then, okay, here I got that riff perfect. Now here's the next riff. It doesn't work like that, right? You have to be able to play it fluently all in one. And I have like this kind of like one take, try to get it all in one take. So, which doing a whole take without a single mistake is almost impossible. No matter how many times you play the song, right? Especially if there's complicated parts in it. So, but sometimes it's nice to leave the mistakes in, because it gives it the human character, right? As long as the mistake is not so bad that it's like, okay, yeah, you got to take that out. And you can punch in and punch out on that. What that was like if you had like say 90% of the performance perfect, you could just punch in at a certain point where when you're playing, you just play normal, okay, and then it'll punch in from here to exactly this time, and you can do it on this thing, and you just play, and it records at that time, no more, no less. So it becomes seamless, right? And I've never done a punch in. I've always just done a retake, uh, even if it's the whole song. Um, but the songs I was doing, you know, it was not, like it was kind of like, recorded as fast as possible, right? Now I can take my time. So I'm going to try that feature at one point just as an experimentation, just to see what it's like to do it. Because it takes a little bit to, you know, be able to punch in seamlessly, right? And I think a lot of people, because they've never done that before, it's like, you have to practice it in your recording to be able to get good at it. So that if you do have one little part that you want to change or whatever, you can, like not have to do the whole. It's like, okay, yeah, but this part is so perfect. I'll take it from here to here and edit that out and punch in. So effectively, what the metal guys are doing is the same thing. It's like, okay, I'll play this. Okay, I'm gonna take this part out, and just re-edit that part, punch in, chop that out, and redo that. And what ends up happening is you get a perfect sound, and you get to edit the song exactly the way you want, and it sounds seamless, right? And that's not anything new. Like, I mean, that's probably been going on for about 40 years now. People punching in, punching out, maybe even 50 years. Like it's not new technology. So that's how bands have done it. And like people don't record like Elvis or Robert Johnson anymore, where it's like one take and live in the studio. Like a lot of people don't do that anymore, right? So. Not that there's anything wrong with that. If I had a full band, yeah, I'd do that. But like I'm the one man band, right? So the big thing with your songs is, as a multi instrumentalist, you have to know every instrument perfectly. So you have to know all the bass parts perfectly. You have to know all the guitar parts perfectly. And for Pinto, the bass parts are probably going to be just as complicated as the guitar parts. So because the bass is going to follow the guitar solo, it's going to be really, really cool. That's the plan. It might not follow it exact but there's the majority of it is going to follow it. So the trick is to be able to do all this, okay, and then the drums know where your beats are going to be, and like right now I'm being very inspired by Alan Ackerman, basically the Elvedi drummer. That guy is so good. He is so good. My favorite drummers right now, and I know like the classic drummers, and like there's reasons why these guys are my favorite right now. Is like Alan Ackerman, like from Elvedi, because I love Elvedi. Elvedi, if I could produce songs like Elvedi, that would be like everything they produce is a masterpiece in my opinion. Like they're so good, and every time you listen to one of their songs, you hear something new, even if you've heard the song 1,000 times. It's like there's always something new in it, just because it's so complex. You've got 9 band members. It's like I'm in a band. Oh yeah, what instrument? Flute. Yeah, yet it works. Yet it works. And then you got, Nizo from Frozen Crown. Just the guy's so solid. You know what I mean? He might not be the most technical drummer in the world, but the guy is just so solid. Now, mind you, I understand in the studio they time align everything like that, but you can only studio engineers they can't work magic, right? You have to be close enough that they can time align it, or else the song's going to fall apart. That's where the talent comes in. Like these guys are playing to a click, to a metronome, whatever, so close that that they can time align it just to clean it up. But other than that, the rest is all. It's kind of like auto tune for drummers, right? So you still can't cheat. It's like the drum triggers. Like, people think that's cheating. It's not. It's just you're getting a digital impulse response to separate your beats, so that once you hit a certain speed, particularly with the double bass drum, especially if you have a single double bass drum, there's a certain speed where the actual batter head on your drum can't rebound and respond. So it's just like the drum head hasn't even like reset itself for the next hit. The hits are hitting too fast, so it just dulls the sound. And that's why you put and it almost sounds like one kind of droning sound instead of two completely distinct beats. That's why you use the drum triggers. That's what gives you the sharp sounds, right? Now, Eleni Noda is my third favorite drummer. There's no particular order for these drummers. She might be the first one. It's just with her, it's her and Nizo. What impresses me so much about those two drummers, Eleni Noda and Nizo, I don't know what his last name is, they're from Frozen Crown, is that they use small, like 4-piece kits. That's it. And they got a couple of cymbals. Between the two of them, I don't think they have 20 cymbals. She might have 6 or 8 cymbals. He might have 6 or 8 cymbals. Like, they're minimalist drummers. Then it's all about the groove, the beats, and just how tight they play. Like, if you listen to Eleni Noda play, like in any of the Encore songs, again, I know, like I was talking about with the editing, yeah, like they probably work one beat part edit, but just watch her do the playovers of the songs, like especially like dark beat and stuff like that. Just watch what she did. Like, just watch this tiny little woman play. Like, her feet get going on the double bass there. She's very impressive, and and listen to her cymbal work. It's like, wow, But mind you, she's been playing probably since she could walk, type of thing. And Nizo, he's a jazz drummer trained as a jazz drummer, right? So a lot of times jazz drummers do make good metal drummers if they're willing to cross genres, right? And I'm just going straight for the metal stuff. Because I'm 52, right? Life is short. And the possibility of learning a whole genre and then have to learn another genre could, it takes years to get good at stuff, right? It doesn't take long to get good, but to get really good takes years. So 15 years from now, I'll be 67 years old, and I'll be like, okay, yeah, now I'm a phenomenal drummer, but I'm 67 years old. It doesn't mean I won't be able to play drums, but it might mean that, maybe my hearing won't be good at that. That's why I protect my hearing all the time. Even at work, I wear, hearing protectors, all that. Yeah, I do play loud once in a while, but my drums, I almost always play with the hearing protection on because I don't want to become tone deaf, right? Especially if I want to be recording and stuff. So there's all those things that I gotta, take into consideration, right? So I'm just jumping right to that. Same with the bass, like the funk slap bass and jazz bass. Nothing against it, but I'm also, probably better that I, just focus on the metal stuff first. And then, once I'm satisfied with my metal playing, okay, maybe then I'll, dabble with, other types. But anyway, I got to get ready for work, so here we go.